Our project this week is called Funny Foods. So, like I said, our artist inspiration for this week is our music class. So you might have sung On Top of Spaghetti, The Muffin Man, Down by the Bay, and Apples and Bananas. If you haven't done that already, you will probably do it soon. So those are going to be our 4 songs that are inspiring our artwork today. The way we're going to do that is that we're going to use something called personification, which means that we're going to, instead of just drawing the food the way it is, we're going to give the food human qualities. So personification is usually when you give human qualities to something that is not human. So we're going to do that by adding faces to our food, therefore giving our food emotions. Specifically looking at this example, this is called Kawaii Food, or actually, the word kawaii means cute. Some elements and principles we're going to be thinking about during this project are shape, texture, and emphasis. Since our food is going to be kind of cartoony, we want them to stick out, and we want them to look like our food still, so we're going to have some texture in them. And then the first thing we're actually going to do is going to draw them all together, kind of on a table. So I'm going to show you how to draw the food with shapes. We'll have texture to it near the end. And then even though I'm going to show you specific faces I'm going to use on my food, you can choose your own faces to give your own food its own personality. What we're going to do is we're going to draw on our paper an oval off to the left side. It shouldn't be bigger than half the paper because we're going to do a few things across our table. So that oval is going to be the watermelon. And next to it, a little bit over, we're going to do our bowl of spaghetti. So you're going to draw a big U shape with a line across it for our bowl. And we'll come back and do the spaghetti details in a minute. We want to draw a line behind the watermelon and behind the bowl by drawing it straight across, but skipping the objects as we go across. So that way it looks like that's the back edge of the table. Now we're going to draw the watermelon. So draw the top of a triangle, and this is a watermelon slice, and then the bottom you're going to curve it. And we're also going to draw another line inside for the rind, the green part, and make sure that everything we're drawing now should be underneath that table line, so it looks like it's sitting on our table. For our Muffin Man, we're going to do a small line and then 2 lines coming up, kind of like a widening V, except for it has a flat bottom. And then across the top, you're going to do a zigzag line. That's the top of the muffin paper. So once again, we're going to do that so that our muffin has a friend. And if you want to do 2 watermelon slices instead of 2 muffins, that is okay. It is your artwork. You also can do just maybe a few of these, not all of them. It is up to you which of maybe those songs inspires you the most. So on top of the muffin is just kind of like a wavy bubble for the top of the muffin. Now it's time to do the spaghetti. So for the spaghetti, I'm just going to do kind of a wavy line from one part to the other, do a lump, and then do lines on the inside for texture of the stringy spaghetti. I'm going to do 2 meatballs by doing 2 circles that kind of stick out from the top. Let's see here, and then my last song is Apples and Bananas. So for an apple, we're going to do a circle and to do a little dent in the top of the apple where the stem is. Kind of think of a little V, like how a heart would be. A stem and a little leaf to show the apple. And then for the banana, we're going to do like a big wide C, and then dig another wider C, it's kind of like a moon, with a little stem on top. Alright, so now we have our foods. So let's talk a little bit about different kinds of emotions and faces we could do in the kawaii style. So they're pretty simple. They're just eyes, 2 circles, and usually a mouth, which could be smiling, frowning, whatever you want it to do. And then to make the eyes look shiny, I do 2 little circles on the inside that will say white, and then color in the rest of it dark, so it looks like big, shiny kind of eyes. There's a smiley. Down here, I'm going to do another one. This time, instead of circles, I'm going to do little sideways V's going inwards, almost like the person is excited, and do a smile. Kind of like they're closing their eyes so tight that you can't see, or they can't see either. The next one I'm going to do is I'm going to do a crazy one. So I'm going to do swirls, spirals, a smiley face, and then a little U shape with a tongue. Now you can mix and match a lot of these, so don't feel like you have to do just these. Speaking of eyes in different shapes, you could do hearts or stars or something. Like the shiny ones, you want to add a little circle for a highlight and then darken in the rest of it black. You could also do that in different colors if you wanted to. Do a smiley, but instead of just a normal smiley, an open mouth smiley, which is basically just like two smileys together. The next one I'm going to do is a surprise face. So I'm going to start with the normal eyes. I'm going to make them kind of big though. I'm going to color most of it in black, but then leave a top little circle area for the shiny part. And a little O shape will make the mouth. Okay, now, maybe I'm going to do an angry one. So I'm going ahead and do normal eyes. But then I need to show something that makes it angry. So two lines that kind of point downward toward the middle can make it look angry. And then another way to do eyes closed would be two kind of arches like a rainbow. And then instead of a smiley mouth, I'm going to do an arched open, kind of like frowny mouth. So you can mix and match a lot of those. You know, the arched eyes don't necessarily have to go with a frowny. You could go with a smile too, depending. So let's go ahead. I'm going to start doing some faces. So on my big watermelon, I'm going to make him kind of like smiley, but maybe a little silly. So I'm going to do two arches for the eyes because they're closed. And then I'm going to do a smiley face with a tongue sticking out. For his little watermelon slice spread, I'm going to make him look kind of surprised. So I'm going to do two normal shiny eyes. And then I'm going to do a little circle for the mouth. For my muffins, one's going to be super smiley, squeezing his eyes closed together. And then his muffin friend is going to have normal eyes and an open smiley mouth. Remember, like I said, you can do whatever faces you want to on your food. You can also do only a few of these foods instead of all of these foods. You could maybe just have a whole table of muffins. It is up to you. I want you to use your creativity and what you like to draw. Okay, so maybe our spaghetti is not getting along that well. So I'm going to do one meatball that's not really having a great day. I'm going to do this meatball kind of confused. I'm going to give him swirly eyes. And maybe like a little O kind of mouth. And then the bowl, actually, I'm going to personify too. He's going to be a little angry. Maybe he's kind of frustrated because the meatballs aren't having a good day. Okay, apples and bananas. My apple. Let's say he's going to have crazy eyes too. But instead of him being confused, I'm going to make him super happy. Big open mouth. And then maybe the banana. Maybe he's not very sure. So he's going to have normal eyes. And then he can have eyebrows that kind of point upwards towards the middle. Kind of gives a look of being not sure. And give him a straight mouth. At this point, I would probably, if I were you, stop and just trace everything in marker that you've done already. You'll see that I'm not going to do that, and I probably should have at the beginning, so it's a little less confusing. But now we're going to think about the texture of things and what they need to look a little more realistic. So for the first thing I'm going to do is the watermelon. And across the watermelon, I'm going to, with the darker color pencil, or you can do crayon, I'm going to do these kind of stripes that are a little zigzaggy to make the texture of the outside of a watermelon. Then lightly with a lighter green, I'm going to color it in. So that way it looks like a full watermelon. Okay, once you have your watermelon done, like I said, you should have traced it before, but go ahead and trace it. Tracing your face is going to make it look more emphasized and stand out. Gotta make sure my lines are still dark enough to see them, but not too dark that it covers the face. Now for my watermelon slice, I'm gonna go ahead and do the rind. I do little stripes on it. And then my watermelon will need seeds. So first I'm gonna make sure it's traced. And then I'm gonna add black seeds to the watermelon. And watermelons on the inside are red, so I'm gonna go ahead and do some red. So make sure that, remember, you don't have to do the same faces I'm doing. Also, if you don't want to do one of the foods, you don't have to. Or if you want to do many of the foods, you can do that as well. So maybe you want multiple watermelon slices. On the muffin, next, I'm going to make the muffins light colored brown. I'm also going to do the muffin paper. You can do lines that kind of angle towards the bottom to show the folds and the crinkles in the muffin paper. These muffins are going to be blueberry. And if you didn't trace them, you can always trace them afterwards. Once again, emphasizing the face and the outline, so that way that doesn't get lost in your coloring. All right. Forgot about my watermelon rind. Go back and do that one real fast. While I have the marker in hand, I'm just going to go ahead and finish all of my other tracing so I can color over marker or pen. If tracing is not perfect, that is okay. Like I said, you probably should use a thinner one than the super thick marker like I'm using. That way you can get a little better details. After you're done with all of your foods, I'm actually going to do the table line, the back table line as well. Just so I remember that I want to color my table and my wall behind it separately. Okay, I'm going to go to my spaghetti with meatballs. Yellow spaghetti. See how nicely the light yellow goes over those lines. Don't have to worry about them. Do some tomato sauce. Do a little bit on the meatballs as well as on the spaghetti. Brown for the rest of my meatballs. And then I could decorate my bowl, but I'm just going to color it one color. I'm going to color mine blue. You can color yours whatever color you want to. Going to color my apple red. And my banana yellow. Alright. Now what I want to do is I want to color in my table itself. You could make a decorative tablecloth. I'm just going to color mine in pink. Take your time on this. Make sure that it's not too liney or too dark, so that way your food is still emphasized, and you want that still to be the thing that sticks out the most, that we see the best when we're looking at it. Here's my table. And then for the wall behind the table, you can do lots of things. You could like put pictures on the wall. I'm going to make a cool kind of textured wallpaper. I'm also deciding last minute, I kind of think I want a window. Draw a window. Trying to decide what to put on my window. Okay, I'm just going to trace it so that way it matches other things in my drawing. Do a window pane. And as I'm looking outside, what if I just put some grass in the sky so it looks like it's, I don't know, actually outside. Then I'm going to finish making interesting textures on my background. So making my wallpaper maybe decorative. Like I said, you can add pictures to yours. Maybe you want to add a plant sitting behind the table. But try to make it different than the table so we can tell that it's a different space. All right, I hope you enjoyed making some kawaii cute food today. Remember, yours doesn't have to look exactly like mine. Make your room as unique as you want to. I'm looking forward to seeing all your cute food and maybe even some of your favorite foods added in.